to extend a warm welcome on behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University, Haryana, conducting this wonderful 5 days global workshop on Overseas Career and Educational Expo. So now I'm handing over to Dr. Naveen sir to give a brief introduction to the speakers. And please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Yeah. Firstly, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Miss Rashi Gupta, graduated from Stanford University, USA, Masters from Symbiosis International University. She is an international certified career advisor. She is US certified psychometric analyst also. She has been persistently guiding the students for the last 10 years, spearheading leading organizations like in Hindustan Times, Career Launchers, and Choppers. Currently, Rashi is recruiting for the Ireland and Spain University. She helped 1,000+ students to migrate the abroad. With this introduction now, I would request Ms. Rashi Gupta to deliver the talk on Ireland visa roadmap. Thank you. Now it's over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for the very humble introduction. I take this as an opportunity to have constructive 25 minutes talk with all the students present here to discuss the agenda of the day. So without further ado, let me quickly share the screen and help you understand how we will be progressing today. Right. So I think we have a lot of students who have joined us here. And the one predominant question that all of us always have, irrespective of whether we're in school or we are at the next stage doing our graduation, or from graduation as we move to the next stage of further studies, and then all through our personal, professional, and the career life. The most predominant question at every stage of life, what next? I am sure we all think on a similar pattern, and at every stage in time, we're thinking about how do we progress to the next level. So I think it is a great opportunity that Amity University and Win Your English together have put up these series of presentations for you students to help decode where you would be or where you can head from your graduation to the next level. So I must thank Amity and Win Your English to give a platform to us and the students to bridge them together to help understand what can you do, when is the correct time to be doing it, what are the various options, and you've been already running webinars successfully and heard about career options and study options in US, UK already. And the most important question, if there is something that appeals to you, how do we begin to take the initiative and start the process? Sir has already given an introduction, so I wouldn't take much time. But for a general understanding, my name is Rashi, and I've been career counseling students since the last 10 years, helping them get to universities in India and overseas. With that, I would like to touch upon the agenda for the day, wherein I will be speaking to you about the top careers that you as engineering students can take up after graduation. And I would take the maximum of my time to help you understand Ireland as a very, very prospective destination for studies, especially for engineering students. So, we've all heard Ireland as a great tourist destination. We are aware of the beauty, the flora, fauna, the beaches that this European destination is known for. But little do we know that Ireland is a very, very famous study destination. It is one of the top European countries to pursue your studies from world-class universities, to look at lifestyle, which is the European culture of living. And thirdly, which is the most important in our case, is to look at very lucrative career opportunities post our studies. So with that, I would like to focus on Ireland as a study destination. And I would like all you students and faculty members, to be aware of the privileges that this country has to offer. I'll be discussing the various stayback options and, of course, touch base on the top colleges and courses that this country has to offer. Before that, let me begin off by a small video to help you understand why Ireland as a study destination.
We're all looking for one. It's what helps you get ahead, stand out, make a difference. And that's exactly what studying in Ireland provides. The benefits of an English-speaking education in a country that's at both the heart and the cultural, economic, and technological leading edge of Europe. And maintaining that edge is what drives us on. It's why we've long been obsessive about education, why we value it so much, not just for what it gives us, but for where it can take us. It's why Ireland's higher education institutions stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world, providing an education that goes deeper than books, tutorials, or lectures. An education in the real sense of the word. Opportunity, experience, community, life, friendship. Care for each other and ourselves is central to the way we do things in Ireland. It's why we're managing the pandemic with compassion as well as caution, looking after the health of our students, both physical and mental. And that edge is what Google, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Microsoft were looking for when they made Ireland their European home. It's what the world's leading pharma corporations wanted when they came to our shores. It's what our homegrown tech innovators have built their reputations on. It's an edge of ambition and ability, one that will take you beyond your education and far into your chosen career. An edge you'll carry with you forever.
Great. Yes. So this is Ireland for all of us. It is a destination which is progressing very fast, and it is giving a lot of opportunities to students to prosper in their careers. So with that, let me help you understand what are the prospects that I'm talking about. So Ireland basically is a very small country which is to the left of UK. Now, you as students must be knowing, or you must have heard, all of our cousins and relatives and friends and family, they are choosing destinations like, you must have heard, so my son has gone to UK for studies, or somebody is choosing US, and then there are others like Canada, Australia, etc. But nowadays, thanks to you students, the technology that you have, and the way you are well informed, students are choosing destinations on proper research, and Ireland has really taken over these other countries which were very famous for studies maybe 2 decades back. UK has, as we talk about Europe, UK has always been very predominant in terms of students going to UK for their studies. But now, after the Brexit rule, all of the companies have shifted their base and headquarters from UK to this little country called Ireland. So what do we mean by this? Other organizations have made their headquarters in Ireland, which means that we are looking at more stability and career opportunities in this country. So if you see on the world map, Ireland is a part of Europe, and it is a very small country to the left of UK, exactly like how we have India, which is big in size, and then there is a small Sri Lanka at the end of it. Exactly like that, there is Europe, which is like this, and then there is a small island here, which is Ireland. The capital of Ireland is Dublin, and these are the other popular cities that are there in Ireland, which are famous study destinations. The top 5% of the world's universities, the QS ranking universities. So students, there are some terms that I will be using. So when I say QS, maybe you can make a note of it, and I'd like to, and maybe you can question me later. The QS are world rankings given to universities for the research and the quality teachings that they are doing. So the top 5% of the world's universities are in Ireland, which means this country is giving us 3 things, if I can point out. 1, leading universities. Then, as I said, it's giving you lifestyle opportunities, the European culture, and 3 is the career opportunities. Euro is the currency that is used in Ireland, and it is the headquarters of all leading giants, IT giants. So all of your IT companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Indeed, PayPal, etc., are all headquartered in Ireland. Apart from this, it is also the hub of pharmaceutical companies. So GE, Novartis, Johnson's, etc., are all headquartered in Ireland. Apart from this, the telecommunications and the global financial banking services are present in Ireland. And of course, it is always a very famous tourist destination, which makes hospitality and media also viable options of study in the country. Now, I think I would like all of you to be with me, because this one slide is the crux of Ireland. And all of the students who are here with me as participants, if you are just able to have an understanding of these pointers that I have shortened for you in this slide, you will be able to make Ireland your study destination. Now, quickly going through each of the points. You have already done your bachelor's. So I think as we talk, we will be speaking more about the master's program. So a bachelor programs in Ireland are basically 3 years in duration. But I think I'll be focusing more on the master's programs. So the masters are 1 year in duration. So all masters in Ireland are 1 year in duration. So 99% of the courses will be 1 year. There will be just a few which will be 2 years in duration. And the catch point is that since the master's is 1 year in duration, it is giving the students a 2-year stay back option. Now, this is very lucrative. So which means that you will be going for a 1-year study, but you are entitled to stay in the country for 3 years, wherein you will have work opportunities during study and of course full-time opportunities after your studies as well. Now, a common myth, some people don't even go to advisors because of the very thought that overseas education is expensive. But let me tell you a fact. How many of you already know that some international universities might cost even lesser than your India universities? And I'm sure most of you have already given your GATE exam, the other PSUs, etc., to be able to get into government services or get into your MSc in Indian universities, and have done a minor analysis of the fee structure in Indian universities. And by that, I mean the leading universities. Now, comparing it, the tuition fee in Ireland is approximately 10 lakh rupees per annum for a master's program. And the living expenses also sum up to approximately 10 lakh rupees, which is on a higher side in Ireland. Now, 20 lakh rupees. Another point, for some students, this might be, and this is an economically high amount for anybody to invest in overseas education. Well, let me clarify why I say it is not. Why I say it is not expensive. Now, please be with me to help you understand the return on investment. I say the living expenses is 10 lakh rupees per annum. Iske saath mein, a student will have part-time work opportunities when you are studying in Ireland. The part-time work opportunities during study is 20 hours per week. So har ek bacha masters ka, during your studies, you can work for 20 hours. And ye jo aapka 1 saal ka masters program hai, us 1 year mein, you will have approximately 2.5 months as your holidays. So these holidays will be your winter break, autumn break, Christmas, etc. So in those 2.5 months, you are entitled to work full time, which means 8 hours in a day, 40 hours in a week. Now, let's look at the pay scales. So for freshers, I will be quoting freshers here because I understand that you're all studying bachelor's at Amity and then you will be moving ahead. So for freshers, the average part-time wages is approximately 10 euros per hour. And you're all engineering students, so very good with your computing and maths. Please calculate. If you are getting 10 euros in an hour and you are working 20 hours in a week, simply that makes it to 200 euros in a week. There are 4 weeks in a month. So 200 into 4 is you're earning 800 euros in a month. And there are 12 months. Now, out of the 12 months, there are 2 months which are holidays wherein you can work full-time 40 hours. I'm not calculating that. The bare minimum pay that a person can make is 800 euros into 12, which is 9,600 euros, which is approximately rounded off to 10,000 euros annually you are making. What am I trying to derive here? I'm trying to tell you that if you are a diligent student, these part-time work opportunities will help you gain not just relevant work experience, do considerable social networking, but most importantly also, you will be able to recover all of your living expenses as a student itself. So by doing this, there would be no extra pressure on your sponsors or parents back home in India. So therefore, this is something that you can take care of when you are studying as a student. Then let's come to this. How do we get our tuition fee back, which is approximately 10 lakh rupees? Go back. After being a student, you will have the privilege to stay back in Ireland and work for 2 years. And the starting salaries in Ireland are approximately 30,000 euros annually. That's the minimum for freshers in Ireland. So I think with 30,000 euros, if you calculate in a time span of 4 to 6 months, a student will be able to recover all of his tuition expenses and then look at the return on investment, the return on this investment before he comes back to India after his tenure of 1 + 2 years. Now, another catch point here is this 2 years is the stay back that you are getting on your student visa. There are some students who might want to look at permanent settlement and continue doing their jobs. The government is very welcoming towards giving students the PR to be able to work further. So there is a PR extension and your employer and the employee can get the PR extended. And once you're in Ireland for 5 years, the country gives you the rights to stay permanently as a PR in the Ireland. Now, apart from this, there are some courses which come under the critical skills occupation in Ireland. Now, critical skills occupation, data mining engineers, data analysts, banking sector, entrepreneurs, engineering, and medical services. So courses and occupations around pharmaceuticals, etc., come under the critical skills occupation. If you are a student who's studying a course or having an occupation under this, then you are entitled for a permanent residency within 2 years. So you don't even have to wait for the 5 years time, but within 2 years, you can actually get your unlimited residency in Ireland. So these are definitely very, very lucrative points for a student to consider. And I am sure after hearing this, you will be able to make a very valid decision or maybe do a SWOT between countries like Ireland and US, wherein US is, of course, the Silicon Valley of the world, but there is predominantly a very large difference in the fee structure between US and Europe. So I think it will be very interesting if you students can have a discussion amongst yourselves and talk about the difference. What is the difference between now US and Ireland, since you've heard it? How about understanding the SWOT of Ireland and Canada, since a lot of students prefer Canada. And we know people move to Canada because Canada gives the residence permit. But is that all that we are looking at? Even if you're staying in an international country, we need to sustain ourselves, and we need world-class universities, and we need high-paying jobs. So very confident about Ireland overshadowing Canada as well. And yes, I think a little feature, a little point which will work in our favor is the extreme climates in Canada as compared to the pleasant weathers in Ireland. So I think when we put all of these things together, we will be able to understand from a personal, professional, and a career outlook of the benefits that Ireland has to offer. So there are many leading universities in Ireland. And the universities in Ireland are, I'll just, one second, I'll just help you understand. The universities in Ireland are split up into 4 major categories. So we have the public universities, then we have the institutes of technology. So just sharing my screen quickly again to give you a quick overview of the universities in Ireland. Just give me a moment. Yeah, here. Yes. So these are the universities in Ireland. They are divided into the national universities, institutes of technology, colleges of education, which I generally do not recommend to students, and a few from the private colleges. So starting with these, the National University of Ireland, Galway, Maynooth, UCC, University College Cork, are all very reputed universities in Ireland. They are giving, so for engineering, they're giving courses in, I think for civil engineers, some things which a lot of Indian students apply for is construction management, then geospatial sciences. So now the geospatial sciences is very famous at the Maynooth University. Then we have courses for engineers around data analytics. And we all know after the COVID, there has been, I mean, I can't say much, but there has been so much more pressure and significance of the IT sector. And we know that the advancement in technology is going to be the future of work, study, and a lot many more things that are coming up. So all your courses around data analytics, computing, IT are going to be the future. And you as engineers who have a solid grasp of subjects like science, maths, technology, and the systematic approach to solving critical thinking, etc., will really help you gain these analytical and decision-making awareness skills and enhance your career. So please look for courses. You know, so you've studied engineering, that's a specialization that you've already achieved, and you know that you know, if this is a conductor, or if these are the measurements of a building, or these materials help in this, etc. So the specializations you've already achieved in your graduation days. Now what you have to go for is the more professional skills from a career perspective. So I think all students, I think you should be taking in information for courses like analytics, computing, since these are the top in demand courses for the next 10 years at least. And let me tell you, overall, from a world point of scenario, data analytics and computing, engineering are areas, they are occupations which are actually giving the highest remunerations as of now. So highest salaries will be the data analysts. And if you're doing it from you know, a top class European country university, the sky is the limit for you. I think just a small quotation, we must have heard and we must have said it ourselves. So my cousin has gone to US, he's got a package of 2 crores. We've read it in the papers, IIT graduates get so many package and they're working in the US. So exactly how US is the Silicon Valley of the world with tech as its main point, The second Silicon Valley of the world is this country that I talk about. It is Ireland. Now, getting back, we've just discussed the part-time work opportunities, and I would also quickly like to just give you a brief of some of the top ranked courses and colleges that are there in Ireland as a destination. So I have just shared the whole list of universities that we have in Ireland. Yes, so I've shared the list of universities. I can't go and speak about each university in detail right now, but for your understanding, let's look at few of the courses which might be relevant for you, and these are the top courses that Indian students are going for. So look at this. We have civil engineering masters, engineering management. And if you go on to the universities here, I have done a slight comparison between the leading universities in Ireland. So if anybody has a pen and paper in hand, please feel free to write down the top universities for your general understanding. And in case you have further questions, we can definitely have a one-on-one discussion or a counseling session later to talk in detail, because there are 30 plus leading universities in Ireland, and believe you me, these 30 colleges will give more than 5,000 courses. And here in front of you are just about 10 courses that I picture. But this is to give you a broad idea of how it is. So these are the leading universities, and these are some of the leading courses that students are going for. Structural engineering, important and critical for civil engineers. Artificial intelligence. All students who've done engineering are open for artificial intelligence, etc. It's a 4 years degree. Now, also, Ireland is a country which is very high on academics. So therefore, the eligibility criteria is students have to have a 65. Some universities will say 60 or 65% to be able to apply to these universities. So you're eligible if you have 60% and above, and IELTS is mandatory. So I think there will be some new students here who are maybe knowing about overseas education. If you're knowing about overseas education for the first time, let me tell you, there are two requirements generally when we are applying to universities. First is your score. So I've already quoted, I am looking at a score of 60 plus to be able to apply in Ireland. And the second point is, there are English proficiency tests, okay? So there are 4 English language tests: IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, and PTE. So we've heard of this, but हमें clarity नहीं होता है. So for those who know, please bear patience. For those जिनके लिए ये new है, I'm repeating. There are 4 English tests: IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, and PTE. इनका जो details है, that I will tell you on a one-to-one basis, since there is paucity of time. But the point that I'm trying to make is, IELTS is mandatory for Ireland, which means आप ये 4 proficiency tests में से कोई भी एक score दे सकते हो, and if it is a score which is above the cutoff for that particular course and college, then we are good to file applications. Now, having said this, please note students, अभी अगर आपको apply करना है, तो हमको English language score नहीं चाहिए. So for those who have it, excellent. For those who don't, please don't panic. I will give you a suggestion and I'll give you a way forward. We can file an application right now without an IELTS score to see if the university is even accepting me. Am I eligible? Am I getting accepted into the university? In that case, universities will give a conditional offer letter. They'll say that the condition is this offer letter will be converted into a final offer letter if you give me your IELTS score. So once you have that conditional offer letter with you, then we will give our English proficiency exams, which is one of the 4. IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, or PT, any one, and we will submit the score. If the score is the cutoff of the course, then the university will send you the unconditional offer letter and invite you to join their program, the chosen program at their university. So by this, I'm meaning to tell you कि जब हम overseas जाते हैं, और for that matter, even जब हम Indian universities के लिए apply करते हैं, so there are a lot of permutation and combination. Please get in touch with advisors who are in the particular fields to help you with the basics. The decision is on you. But what happens is, जब हम आपको बता देते हैं, then आपका research work थोड़ा easy हो जाता है. Then you know what to research for. For example, I'll just give you a quick example. I talked about critical skills occupation. We didn't know this earlier. So now what you will do is you'll quickly go to Google and say critical skills occupation in Ireland. And maybe you can compare it with other countries as well. So that's what I'm talking about. Guys, students, please get in touch with career advisors. We've been doing this since a lot of years. So we know the permutation, combination, and the various routes that you can take as a student to get to the top universities. And we will be helping you. These discussions are, of course, platforms for you to understand and show you the bigger picture, the more wider career scope that you can take. So don't think about foreign education being expensive. Don't think about foreign education, finances, PR, settlement. Will I get admission to National University of Ireland, Galway? How will I do my documents? I don't want to give IELTS. Well, if you don't want to give IELTS, I'll give you the alternative. So speak, get in touch with the correct people, and we will be able to show a path to you. Whether you're following that path or not is a decision that you'll be taking on your own. I think the next move that you'll be making, and I think I started the presentation by that because it's a very predominant question, what next? So this move is important because immediately now you will be getting on your career. So please take a very well thought, well researched decision about your post-graduation. So I think these are the details that I'd like to cover. And I would invite all of you to know more about this Ireland as a study destination, which is the house to the leading global organizations of the world in areas like IT. So IT, computer engineering, analytics, artificial intelligence, gaming companies. There are a lot of applications coming up. People are making startups, and there are new millenniums and new people who are actually climbing heights by doing this. The leading pharmaceuticals are headquartered here. The medical device companies, the leading financial services. So your analytical science, math skills can be very well utilized in the banking sector, into investment banking, etc., wherein you can earn a fortune and build a lifestyle that we haven't even started thinking of. And apart from this, famous for the management courses also. Now, management is a general course that a lot of students are going for. A lot of science and engineering students are going for, because we all know आप doctor की clinic में भी जाओगे तो apart from the various diplomas and the graduations and the post graduations he must have done, last में आपको दिखेगा BBA, MBS, PhD, etc., and then last में he'll have an MBA also. Why? Because we need the management skills to give shape to the years of hard work, experience, and teaching that we've done. So management and hospitality. These are, the important career options that we can explore. Agricultural biotechnology in the leading universities of Ireland, MSc in sustainable development, energy development, food microbiology, and a lot of other leading courses in Ireland as a destination. So I would like to close my talk here and invite all of you to come back to me for any queries that you may have. And I invite you to put your queries in the chat box if I can answer them right now. And I would look forward to a one-to-one discussion to help you shortlist the best college, course, and the careers beyond it. Thank you very much, all of you who have joined me for this session and to be with me to be able to understand this prospective study destination. Thank you. I'm opening the floor for questions. Anybody?
Yeah, it was good presentation, Rashi. Yeah, could you please give more clarification? You were discussing about without IELTS, they can enter for Ireland. In case if they want to go with the IELTS, what is the standard score they should at least target for a general or academic basis?
Absolutely. Yes, Dr. Naveen, that's a very valid question, and I appreciate you asking on behalf of all the students. Now, let's understand two things. First, English language proficiency test Ireland के लिए mandatory है. मतलब कोई भी Ireland University नहीं जा सकता without submitting this score. Okay. The second thing is IELTS score requirement is 6 and above. However, you have options to give IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, or PTE. So if a student has not given any of these and we are filing applications, I can suggest that Duolingo is the most economical and easy exam to give. So, so students, please opt for a Duolingo exam. It's a 1-hour online exam, can be given from home, priced at 3,700 rupees only. And the result comes back within 2 days. An applicable score for Ireland universities is any score 100 above. And we will be good to have our applications accepted for Ireland. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yes, you have answered the question. Could you please clarify why people are so much concerned about always getting PR in Canada? What is the process for Ireland in that case? Because everyone are running only for Canada. See, Spain and Ireland is also a good place for the research and everything. In case if you want to go,
absolutely.
Procedure for PR related. Please throw some light on that.
Sure. So, Dr. Naveen, thank you so much. I think for the students, it's enlightening to know that Spain and Ireland are the upcoming destinations. See, there is a shift in the education, and every 20 years, there are some things that change. For example, after the pandemic, we see that a lot of change has happened in the top courses or in the top professions, because everything now comes to revolve around your computers. I can say, simply put, it revolves around computers, technology, etc. So there is a shift in education. Now, we hear about Canada. सब लोग Canada जा रहे होते हैं, वो हमको पता होता है. But there are a sizable number of students. In fact, agar aap embassy mein dekhte, in the September 2021 that has gone by, students have actually been queuing up for Ireland as their study destination. And there were big articles in the Education Times and the Economic Times, Times of India, saying Ireland is the new study destination for the next millennium. Ireland is revamping its whole education system. The government is making a lot of changes to build up its universities. And after the Brexit, Ireland has come more into picture and overshadowed UK. With the kind of staybacks and career opportunities it is giving, students are now choosing Ireland over destinations like US and Canada and even New Zealand, Australia. So I think How do we get a PR is be a student, get into the country, do your studies from there, take the privilege of the 2 years stay back, and in these 2 years you will have a full-time job. Do well in the full-time job. Now, when you are doing a job, the employer will help you get a contract letter and extend the PR. So this will be a contract between employer and the employee, wherein he will say that Rashi Gupta is a so-and-so employee, and we would like her to extend her services to the organization. This is the letter which will help us extend the PR. And once you're in Ireland for 5 years, then we get continued residency in the country.
It was nice explanation. Last but not least, just I want to get a clarify. You may be seeing a lot of job portals or some consultancies. They are telling that if you join, we will get you the PR plus job. But really, it is authentic or just they are portraying? Because I know that they can get you the PR, they make you to admit in a good university. But my concern is it a really authentic how they can offer jobs for any engineers or any other non-technical persons also? Is it? Because
yeah, I'll tell you, sir, but I'll tell you one thing. I think personally, कोई मुझे guarantee करेगा job दे दूंगा, so that guarantee I will not take sitting here in India for India also, sir. For foreign universities, I think since you are a student and you will be in a university, हर एक university का they have very good established career cells. So career cells means they are linked to organizations, and that is how they will have boot camps and career services, but the students will have to work on themselves and work to get their jobs. Anything is not just going to come and drop into your laps and say, this is the job, please start. So I think one word जो हम जानते हैं overseas education के लिए is being independent. So you have to take the initiative. If you are someone who takes the initiative, there are ample jobs through your college in that country. Now, having said that, I think in my whole presentation, I think I have really focused on the career opportunities for students in Ireland, because this country has that scope, and I see a lot of students flourishing with lucrative salaries. So I am very confident, and I invite all of you to do a little bit of research, and I will give you, I'll give you websites wherein, you can go to Irish Times and look at the openings in your relevant fields that you might picture for yourself 2 years down the line. So please work on your portfolios, all the students. Build your profile sitting here. If you're planning to study abroad, please get in touch with us to know how to build your profiles further and be career ready now. We've done our education since the last 20 years. 14 years we've spent in school. 3 years we've spent 4 years we've spent here at Amity. So there's a lot of education. Now we are all career oriented. So please be industry ready. The world is looking out for you. And as you begin, you will be learning each day and progressing well.
Yeah, thank you. And here Manoj Pandey is asking, Queen University is good or not in Ireland?
That is a UK university. So that is a UK university. And I think I'd like to leave it to my UK associates to help you understand. But in general, we know Queen's Belfast is a very renowned university of the UK.
Yes, thank you, Rashi. It was nice interacting with you. Now I would request Dr. Neeraj Gupta to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. I, Dr. Neeraj Gupta, on behalf of Civil Engineering Department, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, would like to extend gratitude and regards to the management of Amity University. A special thanks to the Honorable VC Sir, Dr. PV Sharma, Pro Vice Chancellor Madam, Dr. Padmakali Banerjee, and the Director Madam, Dr. Sanli Bhaskar Bajaj, for allowing us to conduct the event and providing the required infrastructure for the same. Further, I may like to express our sincere thanks to Ms. Rashi Gupta from Win Your English and Consultancy for giving an excellent talk on the visa application process in Ireland. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Ms. Rashi Gupta for giving us insight about the various career and education opportunity in Ireland. I would also like to appreciate the efforts made by the Head of Civil Engineering Department, Dr. Naveen BP, for planning and organizing the workshop. My special regards to all the faculty members and non-teaching staff of the ASET for their time and cooperation in organizing this workshop. I also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants for attending the workshop. Without your participation, this event would have not been possible. So thank you all. Please fill your feedback form. And tomorrow we have a session on Spain student visa roadmap by Mr. Jamir Khan. And now turn on your camera for group photograph. Thank you all. Please on your camera for the group photograph.
It's okay. Please fill the feedback form before leaving the session. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Thanks the faculty members and the students for having me here on the session. Thank you. I look forward to hearing back from you.
Definitely. Thank you. Dr. Neeraj, you just stay for another 5 minutes. Let students can fill the feedback.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now you can leave.